All right, so what I have here is a 1973 Ford F100 XLT Ranger. I do have the XLT Ranger badges. I just took them off. I wanted to put on the Coyote badge. It is a short box and it has been Coyote swapped. So it's got a Gen 3 with 10R80 Coyote in it. A couple things to note. We'll do a quick walk around of the truck. I'll show all the lights functioning, and all the other bells and whistles and gizmos inside the truck. We'll look under the hood, we'll go under the truck, and if you have any other questions about the truck, you can just comment and I'll answer all your comments. Let's start here. So the body is in pretty darn good shape. I did not do this paint job. I purchased the truck from Street Side Classics in Atlanta, Georgia. And when I purchased the truck, it had some old school Kreger wheels on it. It did not have a Coyote. It had an old 390 FE motor in it with a C6 transmission. I rode around a little bit with that in it and then made the decision I was going to just go ahead and Coyote swap this truck. Overall, the body panels are lined up really, really nice on this truck. There is zero rust anywhere. It has the original floor plans in it. We'll go underneath it in a moment and look at the frame, and you'll see that the frame is in rock solid shape. Overall, very, very nice truck, and I think tastefully done. Like I said, I did not do the paint. The paint was on this truck before I got it. I just did a couple of enhancements to it, a little bit of buffing here and there. Now, the paint, in my opinion, is not the best paint job, but it's a paint job as if you were going to take this truck and drive it every day. So for the last, I'd say 6 months or so, I've been driving this truck every day, and I drive it more than I drive that brand new Tremor right there. So this has pretty much been my daily for the last 5 or 6 months. I really, really enjoy driving this truck. So a nice quick walk around right here. I'll make note of some of the blemishes. So you'll see down here in where the window sweeps are, there's some paint chips along here. There's a couple of dents and dings. You can see when they did the paint, it was kind of a budget job. They didn't get all these dents and dings out of the top. They're hardly noticeable. There is a dent right here that you can kind of see if the lighter's right. There's dents and dings here and there. It's not a high quality show truck. It's really not. But overall, it is definitely a head turner. People see this truck and they're always wanting to ask questions about it. You'll see the only issue, I think, from a body panel alignment standpoint is the hood. I think this is a repop hood. So you can see that gap on the rear is a little off. When we took the hood off to do the Coyote swap in it, we didn't spend a whole lot of time getting it all lined up. We got it about right where it was when we took it off because we had marked it, and we just put it right back in the same spot. I'm not really too concerned with some little alignment issues like that. It's not too bad. The antenna is broken off. That happened in a car wash, and I don't plan on fixing it because I don't listen to AM/FM radio. It's got a Bluetooth stereo system in it, and I kind of liked it. When it broke off, I realized I kind of like it better without it. Things like the front windshield, when whoever had it before me painted the truck, I'm not sure if they did a window replacement after it or did a really poor tape job, but you can see portions right here where the old blue color is showing through around certain areas of the seal here. You can see up here in the drip rails, it all looks really, really solid up here. The body lines are really good on the doors. It's got new door seals, so when you're shutting the door and when you open it, you'll hear it kind of pop a little bit. That's because it's got new seals in it and it's a little tight. So if you're familiar with the F100 truck, and having new seals, you kind of got to slam the doors a little bit because there's 2 clicks, right? So you'll hear 1 click and then you'll hear the second click, but you kind of got to shut the door kind of hard to get it to, there you go. And you can tell because there's no gap here. They're both in the same plane, the cab and the door here. So you kind of got to shut it a little bit deliberate to make sure that it shuts okay, but the doors do shut. And I like them that tight because when you're doing 100 miles an hour down the highway, you don't really hear any wind noise through here. You do hear it, but a lot of that is just the wind going across the cab and going across this gap here. But you don't get any wind going directly into the truck anymore. I had the doors, I took it to a shop and had them professionally adjusted so that it would stop doing that. The doors do have dyno matting inside of them. So the entire cab floor and the doors have dyno matting. There is not dyno matting on the top or in the back of the cab. We'll look inside in a moment. I'll continue the walk around here. I think the wheels, I picked out these wheels and tires. I think overall they're pretty tasteful and they match the truck pretty well. I didn't really go crazy or overboard with wheels and tires on it. It has all new LED headlights, all the marker lights, the turn signals. It's all LED. The previous owner had done that. Previous owner had also done, you know, the two-tone black and cream color paint job as well. The only thing I did was an interior upgrade, and I did the entire drivetrain, Dakota digital gauges, all that good stuff, and then also exhaust and rear end. So I'll tell you, one of my complaints about this truck is this rear differential. So you can see that is actually a brand new rear differential. It is 373 gears in it. I think I kind of don't like it. I went a little overboard when I bought this. That is a street and track rear diff. So when you're going around sharp corners, just driving around town, going to car shows, if it's not warmed up, you'll hear it kind of grab, like if you're pulling out of your driveway. It almost feels like something's wrong, but it's really just the clutches inside that rear diff that are kind of grabbing. And like I said, you'll kind of feel like, is something wrong back here? But after calling Speedway Motors and multiple times and talking about that, they said that is completely normal. If I had to do it over again, I would probably replace that with a different style and not a clutch style rear end. But it is a 373 posi locker, and you can get both of these with that Coyote and 10R80 transmission. You can get both of these tires spinning pretty freely, very quickly. Very, very powerful truck. You can see the DJM drop suspension kit that I put in it. The front has been dropped 3 inches and 4 inches in the rear. You see it's got Borla S-curve exhaust on it, and it comes right out of a X-pipe. So on the motor there is Fat Fender Garage custom made headers, and then out of the headers there are 3-inch V-bands that go back to this X-pipe, and then through the Borla exhaust and straight out the back. All the shocks all the way around are brand new. Brakes are new. The only thing from the brakes system, front and back, that's not new is the brake lines themselves. But I did all new brake drums in the rear, all the different brake components, pads, all that. Calipers are new. Brake pads in front are new. And then the front is disc brake and drum in the rear. So let's do, oh, back here it does have a Boyd's Welding aluminum tank. So this tank is a 26-gallon Boyd's Welding tank, and very, very nice tank. And it does have the correct Mustang GT fuel in-tank sump style fuel pump. So it's the same fuel pump that would be in the Mustang GT is now in this truck to match the motor. It does have a trailer hitch on it. I've actually never checked to see if the trailer wiring works or not, but it does have a 2-inch hitch. So let's walk around. You can see a little bit of, you know, the paint. It looks like some debris got in the paint whenever they painted it here. There's a couple of dents and dings in the hood, so you can see here and here. Again, it's hardly noticeable, but you know, it's not a show truck. A couple weeks ago, I was headed to the Super Nationals, and I did get a rock chip with looks like a 2 or 3 inch crack there. I don't plan on fixing any of that to sell the truck. It has a battery relocation kit, so it does have a brand new battery in the back, all the proper 200 amp fusing back there, and it has a separate transmission cooler as well, located right up underneath the truck right here. It's a Derail transmission cooler. So let's pop the hood. I'll show you up underneath here, and I'll also show you the front suspension as well. Give me one quick moment so I can open this hood. I need 2 hands. All right. So there is a Gen 3 Coyote that came out of a 2021 Mustang GT. It was a convertible car that had been wrecked. I got this from Wade's Motorsports, and it had about 53,000 miles on it when I purchased it. And it was a very clean motor for 53,000 miles. I was very surprised at how clean this motor was. So yeah, there has been really nothing. It's pretty much stock motor, stock intake, everything, except for the air intake right here. It's just a quick aftermarket where I could get air from the front grille of the truck right here. It does have Fat Fender Garage custom headers down there, and those needed to be custom because when you do a Gen 3 Coyote swap in a F100 truck, the stock headers on the Mustang, on the Coyote motor, will hit the power steering gear. So it's kind of a well-known fact when you're doing Coyote swaps in these trucks, it's going to hit that power steering gear, and so you'll need to have custom headers made. Fat Fender Garage does a fantastic job with their headers. They're a little pricey, but they're really, really nice headers, and they sound fantastic. Other things to note about this truck, you'll see it does have the original wiring harness in it. I did not go, that's the body harness for lights and dash bezel and all that good stuff. I left all that. I did not do the American Auto Wire upgrade because this wiring wasn't in really bad shape. You can tell it's 40 some odd years old, but it's still working fine. All of the wiring, on the other hand, for the motor is all brand new. It's got power by the hour, fuse box, all the other wiring, like I said, for the truck is brand new, including all the switches, relays, and all that good stuff. So it is a rear mounted battery, and so that's the main disconnect for, because I get a lot of people asking what this is. That is just when you're under the hood and you want to disconnect the power under the hood, you can just rotate that, and it has a digital display that shows you the current voltage of the battery, but you can just flip that switch and it just disconnects the battery to the entire truck from under the hood without having to go in the back of the truck. That's key on relay, so 250 amp key on relay for the truck, and then you can see some of the Resto-Mod air conditioning stuff back there. Under the hood, we didn't really spend a lot of time dolling it up, so you know, that's the last person that had the truck, they did black out the firewall and some things like that, but we just ended up just doing the Coyote swap. We cleaned a few things up here when we had the old motor out, but overall we did not invest a ton of money in, you know, further paint or anything like that for the truck. I think, you know, the exterior of the trunk looks fantastic. We just kind of left it at that. It's got Resto-Mod air conditioning in it. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, maybe a couple times. As all new fittings, hoses, everything. And then we did the again, Fat Fender Garage front runner kit or road runner kit, and that allows you to have power steering on the Coyote motor and air conditioning as well. So you got power steering, air conditioning there. You got the PCM with a Fat Fender Garage mounting kit and all that good stuff. And then all of your engine wiring is in this box right here. I wanted to put it in a very nicely sealed box. All the wiring inside here, there's another fuse box under here, and all the wiring is labeled. It tells you exactly what it does and where it goes. It's a 4-row air conditioner. And then while I'm here, I'll talk about the horns. These are the exact same horns that come in the new 2024 Ford F-150s. So this horn and the horn in that truck back there sound identical, which I thought was kind of fun. All right, so let's look underneath. you can see all the suspension is brand new, and it's DJM drop beam suspension. So you can see the all the drop beam equipment is brand new. The drop beam equipment is brand new. The knuckles are new, springs are new. We did install a front sway bar, and I'll tell you, this truck, with dropping it and giving it a nice low center of gravity, it really corners very well at higher speeds, much more than what it did in 1973 with the original suspension in it. But it is we retained the old I-beam suspension, but installed new drop beam I-beams from DJM, and again, it handles really nice. And you can see down there the trailing arms, all the bushings for the truck are all brand new as well. Give you a nice comfortable ride. It's got an oil filter relocation kit because when you're doing the Coyote swap, the stock oil filter will hit the cross beam there, so we relocated that. Retain the body harness and wiring for the motor, and then use power by the hours, trans and engine harness as well. So that's under the truck. Let's go in and look at the interior now. Again, the doors, they're pretty tight, but what's really nice is you don't get very much wind noise or anything like that, so it's a nice comfortable ride going down the road. The wing mirrors right here, both sides are brand new. These are custom made in Taiwan, actually, using the original Ford equipment, just as they did back in 1973. So we just went ahead and bought the entire kit, and these are drop in, and they bolt right in with new seals, new rubber, new glass, everything. Both doors have brand new glass from LMC Truck, and it's tinted. It's really nice glass. You don't get any like that magnifying effect as you do with the older glass, where it kind of feels like the sun is magnified on you. With this tint right here, it's a lot more comfortable. All the felt inside, all the felt and all the components inside the door are all brand new. The crank assembly is new, the tracks that mount up back here for the glass inside the door are all new, and it's been fully dyno matted as well. All of it works really nicely, other than at times I think you may need to take and get the glass adjusted on the track every now and then, because it's all brand new, and as this felt and these strips and stuff wear in a little bit, you may need to go inside and adjust some of the linkage to get it to roll up perfectly straight, because I'm starting to see every now and then where it's getting a little off track maybe, but it still seals up pretty good. There's the other drip rail while I'm standing here, and you can see it all looks really good. Cab corners are actually original, so this was a very well taken care of truck. I did look real closely, and those are not, nothing has been done there on these cab corners, and they're all very solid. It's an LMC Truck seat. It is actually a bench seat, but it has some bucket style bolstering to keep you in the seat real nicely when you're cornering pretty hard. As you can see down there, you've got the original, original to the motor, the Mustang GT gas pedal, because it is electronic gas pedal for this motor. You can see the Dakota digital gauges. All of the data that comes to these gauges right here comes via the ODB2 port from the PCM. And so you get really good responsive data right to the gauge cluster. So it's not relying on any additional sensors that were added or anything like that. It's all coming from the stock sensors on the motor and the PCM. Inside the truck, it's got a new dash mat. I did not install that. The previous owner did. The only thing I did in here was the dyno matting, a new carpet system, and the seat, and then all the dash components here. So, you know, all the vents, the Rustomod air conditioning, the new control bezel, stereo system, this bezel right here, the trim, ignition, all the switches and knobs I did. But everything else, you know, looked this good when I bought the truck, actually. New to me. So let me let's fire it up and see what it sounds like. Now my phone's going to connect to Bluetooth, so I'm going to just disconnect the stereo so it doesn't power on and take the audio away. So let's fire it up. You'll hear the fuel pump prime, and then I can take you also through the gauges. Well, I'll do that after we start it. And that's that Gen 3 Coyote. And it sounds absolutely fantastic with those custom headers and Borla exhaust on it. You can see intake air temperature right here. Let's see if that'll focus. Doesn't want to focus right on my phone, but I show you it does look pretty clear. But yeah, let's go through the gauges here. So you can see the gear position right here. It's in park. I can put it in reverse, neutral, drive, just like that. It does have manual mode if you wanted to install paddle shifters. It has the capability. We have a kit from Fender Garage that it won't go past drive. It locks out manual mode. Now, if you wanted to remove that lockout kit and then install paddle shifters, the wiring is there if you ever wanted to do that in the future. So you can see all the gauges. I just got back home, so you can see it's already at temperature. You can see the battery voltage, fuel level, oil pressure, engine temperature, and then RPM. Very, very responsive. I'll go ahead and shut it off so you can hear me talk a little bit better. And then you can see there's a post prime as well. So when you turn the truck off, it will post prime the fuel trunk, the fuel system as well. All the lights, all that stuff works. So if I turn the lights on, the lights are on outside. Let me turn the key on, and you can see the dimmer, all that good stuff works. Running lights and high beams. So if I hit the high beam down here, you can see right here where the little high beam indicator comes on. Windshield wipers, all the windshield wipers work great, and it does work if you shut them off in mid-stroke and they reset to the correct location. Air conditioning, hot, cold, you can go down to dash or feet. This does have a Bluetooth app. The Bluetooth system is installed for the Restomod air conditioning. You just need to download the app and connect to it. I personally don't use it because I just like using the switches, but I did test it and it does work. Has a nice Sony deck in here. The doors have kicker mids in the doors. And then there's two separate kicker subs and an amp behind the seat, and the sound system sounds absolutely fantastic in it. What else in here? You can see the headliner. It's got this was in here when I bought it. It's got this like kind of dark American flag look to it. If I had to do this over again, I would have removed this and put the dyno matting on the ceiling up here, because you do get wind noise coming from the ceiling area, the top of the cab, and I think it can quiet a lot of that down even more if we put some dyno matting up there. And then also behind the seat on the back of the cab, there is no dyno matting, but the entire cab floor, under the seat, and even partially up in some areas of the firewall, there is dyno matting, including both doors. There's some really thick dyno matting in there as well. So, and I'll tell you, when we did that, that really helped with just the quality, the experience of driving this truck, especially at highway speeds. It's just, you can hear each other talk. When you have somebody driving in the truck with you, you can have a natural conversation without hearing a lot of road noise. And then, of course, with the new seals, you don't get any wind. Now, when I first bought the truck, even at 45 miles an hour, you're hearing a lot of wind noise blowing through certain areas of the doors, mainly at the top. I took the truck into a body shop and had him just adjust the doors a little bit better. And that's why they're kind of hard to shut, because they need to be adjusted in quite a bit. And when we did that, it eliminated all road noise coming from the windows, the top trim area. What else do I need to go over? One other thing to note, if you're a Ford enthusiast like I am, it may be a slight annoyance to you, that you'll notice that the bed light is actually upside down. And it was upside down when I bought the truck from Street Side Classics in Atlanta. The first thing I did after buying the truck is I tried flipping that around. And the problem with flipping it around is they had that on the truck when they painted it, which also tells me that it's not the highest quality of paint job because they didn't remove that. But that was on the truck when they painted the truck. And so if you flip it around, you get a little bit of the old color of paint, which is blue, that will show through. So I just flipped it back around, and it's a small nuisance to me, but it's really not that big of a deal. The tailgate does open and shut, and it opens and shuts pretty typical of a 1973 truck. Whoever had it before me, they did Rhino line the back of the truck, and there's also this really heavy duty mat that's in here as well. I just leave it rolled up. Up in there you can see the brand new battery. It's all fused directly at the battery as well. And like I said, it's a rear mounted battery. The topper, it does fold up very nicely. It's Velcro on the side, and then it latches in right here. I also installed just decals and stuff like that. These are just easily removable. It's a kind of a bubble, like a bubble decal. This one can come off very easily if you didn't want to use it. I didn't put any on the glass or anything like that, but this is a little Wile E. Coyote. My kids named the truck Wile E. Coyote. What else? There's a couple of Coyote badges here, one on each side, that I also put on the truck. But overall, fantastic ride quality. It feels good, it sounds good, and it gets a lot of head turns when I take it to car shows and I'm just driving this thing around town. Again, I don't consider this a show quality truck or anything like that. This is a driver, but it is a very well taken care of, classy looking truck that I drive every day. Real quick, I'll show you that it does have the VIN number plates, the legend plates here on the door, and then also on the cab as well. I did order new ones, replacement ones, and I'll include those with the truck if you wanted them as well. All the seat belts, I kind of hide them back here, but you know, all the seat belts work, and they come with the truck, obviously. Overall, fantastic truck, and happy bidding.